looking amazing here starting out. This is definitely longer term energy, and certainly by the clarifiers, you'll see that. For a lot of you that do the tarot anyway, I mean, you can certainly use your own conversion on these things as well, but I certainly, because it'll all speak to you a little bit differently. But also, in that same space, I just wanted to mention that, of course, all of the energies are something that's going to affect you all at different times. So your timeline is your timeline. Everybody is not making a decision, as I always say, on a Saturday. So basically, what I'm telling you is some of the energies are going to be a residual. Some of it's going to be moving. You're moving into this. But either way, for those that this immediately resonates for, this is the space that you're in currently. So again, the timelines will vary a little bit because you all have different influences. So some of you will have, and I think that's also part of the timing factor with tarot. It's really hard to be that precise because everybody works through that energy at different rates. Some of you drive faster in a car, some of you drive slower in a car, some of you take a, more scenic route to kind of get to that, the end of your story there. Some of you prefer just a short, straight cut sort of line toward the end. So anyway, that's my tidbit on that. So the other part of it is just in looking at the cards overall. Of course, these are just the main energies are out here. Of course, the April energy that you are significantly in is going to be for major arcana would be the Hermit energy. And of course, that does speak to being in that space of intense focus, really trying to get to the bottom of things, really trying to understand life, lessons, really trying to have a sense of self. It's more of an independent energy. It certainly does speak to a lot of that solitude and isolation in trying to find one's answers. So there is a withdrawal here, but I feel like you're coming out of that energy, more progressively each time. So the other part of it because of the fact that you're deeply searching for some sense of connection, I would say here, even though you're in a space of being more, pulled away from things in April. But as I say, I mean, these are energies that help you to clear your mind. This is that space where you're actually able to deeply process emotions and feelings. And especially in this kind of a culture that we live in today, we don't have a lot of that time to process deep emotions. And I think that's a lot of where there's a layering of separation and difficulty among people because it's harder to just pick up and move on to the next thing. um, or I shouldn't say it, put it that way. I should put it more along the lines of sometimes we move too fast without trying to resolve issues. And also at the very same token, depending on what all the other external factors are in your life, you can also end up in that space where it's analysis paralysis. So I mean, there's, take it as it resonates. But like I said, I mean, wherever you fall in that sort of space. But either way, you're in a time of introspection. And again, you're still searching for answers. You've gone quite deep within here to kind of move through. I think you've been in this space for quite some time, really. But either way, you're trying to clear your mind here is what's happening because there is a decision that's coming up here with the Two of Swords at some point. So and it does feel to be around a money path. Lots of money and family sort of issues that are still, and new starts that are part of this read, of course. So again, you're trying to explore your thoughts, your ideas, your emotions. Certainly exploring the emotions, especially when it's followed up with the Page of Cups card. Could also be dealing with a younger person here as well for some of you. But either way, that energy still speaks to dealing with a lot of the emotions and trying to find a new start for yourself in some way. And of course, it is with the Ace of Cups that you will find that further out. But right now, you're in that space of still mulling through, how do I find my happy space? How do I find the things that have meaning to me and emotionally that I'm connected to? But again, you will find that further out because that blessing, there's a couple of blessings, more than one blessing that's coming in a little further out. But these are the clarifiers. Okay, so you're still in that space of, there's a lot of kind of perpetuating anxiety, a lot of redundant thoughts, a lot of things just sort of cycling through that you're kind of reminiscing or rehashing or, just kind of repeatedly trying to make sense out of. So, like I say, you're in that space of trying to explore your thoughts, your ideas, your emotions, but there is something here that is helping you to draw that out. And definitely you're getting back into some sense of flow once you make a decision. The other part of it is when you are searching for answers, it's sometimes where you feel a little bit disconnected, like I said, from self or from others, family, others being whatever it is in your immediate world. But either way, it is sort of a necessary space. And again, it'll help you to reconnect yourself with the world. And I think that's part of where the what the direction is here, because the decision that's having to be made here is that space of I've been in this solitary position for some time. I'm now at that space of the Nine of Swords, meaning I'm close to things being resolved. Um, so when things are close to being resolved, it does mean that there is an indicator of, you're almost in that final end period. So Nine of Swords, like I said, is an indication that things are pretty much clearing up here. You're finding some of those solutions here in this month. It'll probably be something that's growing into the following or the preceding months. But right now, you are so close to just being done and dealt with that. I'm not saying it'll never come up again, but it's certainly in the space of I'm moving far enough ahead now that I can start to feel like I'm in control again. So that's where you'll be reconnecting with your world, like I said, where you're getting in touch with, I feel old friends here as well. There's some kind of, and there could be something in around family as well, because there's a reconnection energy all around there. Um, or help in some way. So whether this is a reciprocity because of, but it still feels more along the family front. There's some kind of energy around getting assistance in that area. So that is that little section there. But the other part of it is too, I just want to throw out there is when you are in that energy of dealing with discomfort or dealing with some of those areas that challenge you, allow yourself to sort of deal with it by poking it around and prodding with those answers and trying to figure out ways of redefining the picture that you're looking at. And I think I've said in previous videos as well, there's some answers that kind of come in around where you've got you're looking at two, how do I say that? You're looking at two frames of a picture. Both of them are blank. And in both of these blank ones, the outer perimeter or the outer frame is, let's say, a bright navy blue or a bright neon blue or a pastel blue, whatever sort of resonates for you. That can be indicative of the past. And you're moving into a silver frame with more of, something that's more appealing and more intriguing. That would be sort of the frame that you're trying to move the picture of that situation into. So if you're looking at the old situation, looking at it in the old frame, in a flat, dilapidated way, and then move it into, that takes away some of the anxiety and helps you to move ahead a little quicker when you actually do see the new framing of that image. So that's just something you might want to try anyway, just to help you clear your mind faster. Some of you, like I said, may need that little bit of a kickstart. So to kind of move through dark patterns or paths that you've been on. Either way, you are finding the answers that you need. You're almost to that end cycle with the Nine of Swords. So that is the predominant energy for the month. But now when we get to the Two of Swords, and of course, this is where there's some sense of, an answer of some sort or a conclusion that you need to deal with. The fact that we have, I should even mention too, well, actually, no, I'll get to that one at the very end here. There was sort of an end card, another card that sort of fell out as I was doing the read. And so I re-asked the question and some of the cards kind of repeated, and that was in about what you were to expect from the future. So right now, like I said, when we're looking at the Hermit energy, this is where you are trying to find those answers. And as I said, this is where things are starting to illuminate. You're tying up those loose ends because you are in the Nine of Swords energy. It does look like it's predominantly emotional that you're having to deal with, but there is a lot of energy here as well, dealing with finance and trying to. So it's almost like you reached a crossroads in terms of your finances. That's where you're starting to make a decision to activate something, a decision to move off in a particular period, move off in a particular way. So again, there's a lot of success. There's a lot of really grounded energy here, but the majority of the energy I see here is getting assistance, something in around family, a period of luck and fortune that is long term. So this isn't something that is fleeting. This is something you're going to be working at, but it is legacy money there that's also coming in here. There is assistance in some way um, in terms of money. But okay, so back into the Two of Swords, but you're being blessed in a lot of different ways. Two specific blessings further out, one around finance, the other around the emotional center. I also want to say that the Hermit is also that energy of teaching. So there's a really good sense that either you can end up being sort of this spiritual guru teacher, and you've learned from trial and error, that kind of thing, and those lessons have, and those mistakes have helped you strengthen, as you've moved through adversity. And I feel like this is helping you to help others, and that's what's drawing others to you is your sorry guys, is your sense of wisdom and that inner compass, that you seem to have found a way to right your right the wrongs, or right, find right in the answers that you've discovered here. This is where student and teacher kind of meets, but it's also that space where your own truths are starting to surface here, because as I say, you're at the crossroads. Okay. Sorry, guys, I always have throat problems when I talk too long. Anyway, on to the twos. Okay, so the two is, of course, dealing with partnerships or connections, or dealing with some kind of indecision or a period of waiting, something along that line. But either way, there is a choice that is very significant in the month. And I feel like it has to do with either taking a job or something like that, for a lot of you, because the Ace of Pentacles indicates that there is an offer on the table. It's a good one. It's something that is emerging, as I say, probably toward the beginning of the month, but Ace of Pentacles still is a new financial opportunity that's up ahead here. This could be the start of a career, because, or, a choice where there is more involvement in the process, because the energy here is not just a new stream of income, but it's also very solid, fresh start. And it does feel like it's something that could involve maybe travel further out, possibly, but there's also that sense that there's a lot of achievement that goes with it. And it's certainly going to be that the timing is right here for you. It does indicate that there is some kind of plan being initiated as well. But again, it's once you make that decision, there's going to be sort of a collaborative sort of effort here to sort of move it ahead, some little bit of assistance to help you get there. But either way, I mean, Ace of Pentacles is a stable energy. So there's something very solid in this fresh start that you're moving ahead toward. So we also have, in terms of, like I say, for others, it could be sorry guys, gotta drink the coffee. One sec here. Okay, so this to me feels like, I also want to throw this out there. There was something I read about manifesting. And I mean, I don't believe manifesting is just, creating positive things around you and everything just falls into place. I know plenty of people that have, been kind of rotten and they've still been able to manifest things. It doesn't mean they necessarily hang on to it. But I will say this. I do feel that who you surround yourself with is certainly a very good indicator of how much of whether or not you maintain things, because if you have a positive mindset, sure, that definitely brings you around people that can be more along that same line. Doesn't mean that they won't be deceitful and so on, but it certainly does mean that you can start to view what they do to build your own successes, so you're building on those layers of your connections. If you were in a space where people didn't really trust you, or they didn't have a lot of faith, that also reflects on you and pulls down your own energy. So you really want to be aware of the company that you keep, because that is going to be the mindset that you, and even they even say in some of the books that you read out there, that you are sort of falling somewhere between the financially, the amount of money that you make falls between those that you're predominantly spending most of your time between. So it's, again, trying to move yourself into a higher resonating energy, meaning if you need to learn information, you don't beat yourself up about not getting something. You keep reading till you get it, till you get it, till you get it. I mean, if something is a dream, it doesn't matter how many times you fail, because it's something that you want. So you keep going until you get it. You know what I mean? It's just as simple as that. And this is the energy that I see here. I feel like you're really willing to invest in this energy for this month. Sorry, guys. Okay. You're really willing to invest in the energy this month. And even in terms of a relationship, I will say there is a strong potential that that there is an element of footing of that, sorry, an element of that heading in that direction, I guess is maybe the better way to put it. Because I feel that there is, again, it feels a little further out though. And that may be because you need to sort of station yourself in a level of stability before that new opportunity arises. That could be the emotional blessing that's here. But I think how it manifests here is going to be either you are sending the message of a bit of a lukewarm response of, yep, sure, okay, I acknowledge what's happening. I might go out for coffee. But there is more of something coming in here toward the very end, which again is a blessing. It's something that you want that is going to move in that direction. And there will be more of a reciprocity. There will be more communication, more of um, a stability around it either way. So, and again, it feels like it's a fresh start. For some of you, it might be a brand new love of sorts, but there's to me a little bit of a sense of reconnection of some sort. But there is a fresh look at the situation anyway. Okay, so it's improved in some way. But either way, however it resonates for you. So, in terms of finances, and again, I still feel a lot of this is financial, a lot of this is family, a lot of this is dealing with connections that are very important to you. You're very, very focused on dealing with, or your mental state right at this time, or at least in the beginning of April. There is definitely two sources of income here I feel that are coming in. Actually, three sources of income that I feel are possibly relevant here. So again, there's one that is like a gift, something that you're really desiring. This is possibly the energy is just starting in the month of April because it's like you're touching on it, even though it's not fully expressed in the month of April. And then there is one that is once you make the decision, this financial opportunity is moving, you're moving on it. And then there's like another fresh idea that is further out. So I'll just kind of so there's a fresh idea here that's actually also on the table. So there's a lot coming in for you here in the month of April. It seems to be some kind of a turning point here. Um, and it seems like it's good luck that's sort of going with this is a certain level of I'm almost reluctant to say flexibility, but more of an openness to whatever these new scenarios are. Because, like I say, it's calculated moves with that wisdom of the hermit, but you're still, it's almost like you just need to make the decision and able to kind of make these adjustments. So you're in charge. And that's where I feel like it's at. In April, whoever makes the decision to keep everything moving, that would be the person I am relating this energy to. So I feel like whatever you've been concerned about on an emotional level, like I say, that indecision, that stagnancy that's been around money, all of that is starting to improve, and it's just like a big, huge cycle long term. Oh, hi, Panda. Sorry, I was just reading your post there. Yeah, the Two of Swords making the decision for sure. And I feel like that's, for a lot of us, I mean, everybody seems to feel that they have to succeed right away. And if it didn't, then it must have been the wrong decision. And I don't believe that at all. I feel like when you really want something, you just keep going until it's yours. So, anyway, sometimes it can be a bit of a denial energy here as well with that Two of Swords, where you're feeling like, I don't know that I should move on to this new, thing, whatever this Ace of Pentacles represents for you. And again, it's a very grounded energy though. So it is a token of some sort where you're breaking away from the old cycle for sure. And you're definitely ready to think more clearly about a situation. You're prepared for that in the month of April. I feel like you're harnessing more of an openness versus a take charge energy in this month. So, right in the month of April, it just feels like you are just more open to the suggestions and the things that could advance you. So, I will also say too, the Swords energy is because like I say, I mean, we all know that that's in around that energy of trying to really get clear, break through, make a decision. And it's sort of a raw power energy once you make the decision. And I feel like it's you resisting, you might have been resisting help before, but I feel like you're more open to that in the month of April. So this is where I feel like that's going to release the pressure for you, because it feels like there's a lot of anxiety hanging on to, maybe the past self. But once you make that decision, like I said, I feel like you are opening up more to others at this time in the month of April. So it feels like that is the right thing to do here, because that air energy, even though you're dealing with things in a very logical way, there's a creative element also around you. And I feel like that could be the inspiration, the impetus to kind of take on a new idea, maybe something that's creative, maybe it is writing. But for me, I feel like not a lot of communication necessarily, but more along the lines of coming up with grounded ideas, really practical steps to implement. So again, that's where you're at. Then we find, and again, there's a release of pressure, is what I feel, to once you open up to other people to move in this direction. So when we get to the Six of Pentacles, definitely in around that energy of money, definitely in around that energy of sharing some common territory. So whether this is sharing, a platform, whether this is, oh my gosh. All right, hold on, guys, one sec. Okay, but if you were, like I say, in a period of ill health, also feel on that front, there's improvement. You're feeling better about things all around. So, Six of Pentacles, this is where you're kind of giving of your time. This is a sharing of wisdom. This can be you, helping another. This can be another helping you, whatever that is for you. But it is some kind of financial harmony and balance that's coming through. There's more of a flow in the month of April. So, again, I feel like there's more of you opening up to your good luck, your good fortune, and it is coming through with a lot of foundational energy here, a lot of family oriented energy. And hi there, Rachel. Nice to see you guys. But either way, these are worthwhile ideas and projects that are going to be rewarding over the long term, over a very long term. Hi, Panda. Sorry, I was just reading what you had there. Oh, I like that. The Two of Swords representing gods and sun, bringing heaven's army out of the spirit realm and into the earth's realm to incinerate. Uh, is that demon? I'm assuming that's demons of some sort, but just saying that they've been trying to manipulate it and force it. Yeah, like I mean, it's whatever you believe is right for you. I believe that, there's, I don't want to say negative, positive energies. I think it's like the yin yang. You need to have one to reflect the other. You need to have darkness and able to find the light. But I think it's finding the balance. That's why we're here, is I feel like we are here to constantly keep the balance. So if you go too far to the dark, there's a consequence. Too far to the light, there's a consequence. When you're really in the light, that it feels good, but at the same token, it also draws the darkness to you. And so then you will have another battle. So the balance is always what we're trying to strive for. And I feel like that is, it's not to say that you can't be in the light or the dark. Sometimes you have to have the dark to protect the light. I think Lady Gaga said something to that effect in one of her songs. And, because if you don't know how to represent or fight for yourself, then that also becomes an issue, because you will be a sitting duck for a lot of things. So it's really finding support and drawing on each other's strengths to get there. Absolutely. But I definitely feel that we have to unite and stick together, because I think a lot of the energy, the forces that are out there, so to speak, um, you know, if it falls too far down one track, then again, we don't get the opportunity to really live out our own life, because we're so distracted by the battles, by the wars. So find your own balance and know why you're here. Know what's right for you. You all are here with your own mission. I believe, we're all here to, I don't feel it's like a hedonistic energy. We're all here after money. We're all here after love. I think that we all want to have some feeling of connection. Once, a Maslow's pyramid, right? We all want a feeling of connection. All want to know that we have some kind of stability in finance and, food and shelter and all of those things, the basic needs at our disposal. And then we kind of move up the chain from there. Then you start to find, look at more, once those needs are fulfilled, then you start to look at more purposeful things that help with, growing the culture around you, trying to enhance your environment. Like you have to satisfy your basic needs first. Panda, that is beautiful. Thank you. God bless. Yeah, you, I really love that. Anyway, I was going to say, so heading into that other energy, like I said, with the Six of Pentacles, it for sure is all about, anything that you might have kind of recently launched or moved into. Again, I feel like you're making what you thought once impossible is now becoming possible. So definitely you're in that energy of, more support around you. There's more comfort here. There's more affection, more exchange, even though I feel your general energy is, you know, you're just starting to open up. You're just starting to kind of crack open that emotional space. I don't feel like there is growth here, especially toward the end of the month with that Ace of Wands. There is huge growth. Um, so I just want to say that, this is where I feel like you're really ready for commitment in the long haul. I feel like you're regenerating in some way. So again, you're being nurtured into this growth space. So again, whether this is you, I feel like the healing is actually occurring from other people. Like I said, probably something in around family as well, but because that's whoever family is for you. But I do feel like there is an exchange of energy here where there is more of a sharing on a higher level. So again, there's healing power, energy, that kind of thing. A lot of wisdom in this reading here too. So that helps you to feel more. I wouldn't say you're in a position of feeling empowered necessarily, but I do feel like you're in that position of attracting the things that you need. And there is more of a shared environment, and there is more of a long range plan up ahead here that's very prosperous, and it's definitely involving a lot of finance. Then when we get to that the Ace of Wands, again, wands are still that energy of, growth and ideas and spirituality, can represent spring here as well. And I also want to mention, because we have the Ace of Cups sort of further out, that to me, that also is really manifesting here emotions and things that you desire. Because it's coupled underneath the Wisdom card of the Hermit, I really feel like this is dealing with the inner self, where there's going to be some kind of beautiful thing that you've wanted emotionally that's going to completely center you. Further out yet, because like I say, it's still showing up as a clarifier, but I definitely feel like there is something really impactful, new ideas, more creative power, more potential, and in a lot of ways. There's a lot of stages being touched in the month of April for you. It's your emotional center, it's your financial, it's creativity, that's enlivening you. I just feel like the last stage of this will be your communication. So there might be something along that part of it where you haven't been able to fully express yourself, that may still be yet to come, but that's not quite where the read is yet. Um, so again, when we get to where were we? Okay, we were at the Six of Pentacles. Oh yeah, sorry, Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands, again, that's energy where I feel like you're really growing and expanding your ideas, your path, because it is followed up as well by that Page of Wands energy, and it's all underneath the world, which is, again, conclusive energy. You have successfully integrated, learned some kind of lesson here that is allowing you to grow. And not only that, it's moving you into the space of happy harmony, like money. Again, it's not to say there'll never be any problems, but it means you're better prepared for all of those layerings because you've gone through whatever you've gone through. So there's a lot of really good energy there. But again, there's more of a creative start here. There's something about that new energy with the Ace of Wands that tells me that you are more optimistic looking forward here. So I feel like, if you are, usually when I see the swords here, and there is some swords energy here, it seems like it's more of a new idea. That you're kind of venturing out to. Again, striking out on your own here because of that Page of Wands with this new idea. But either way, there's a new chapter that's behind all of this with that Ten of Pentacles. I still would say that family is predominantly kind of a balancer in all of this somehow. Or again, it's whoever you consider family to be, just because there's so many. We've got the Four of Wands as well as that Ten of Pentacles energy. And it seems to be over the long haul with the Wheel of Fortune card there as well. But when we get to that Ace of Wands with that Page of Wands, and again, Page of Wands is, it's news coming in as well about something that's going to bring a lot of money to you. And I don't know where that's coming from. It may be different for all of you, as I said, but it definitely speaks to news around that. So Page of Pentacles, good news is coming through either way. But definitely, I just feel like there's some sense of self-improvement all around, because even with the World card, that is kind of that self-actualization where everything sort of culminates and comes together, where you're educating yourself, where there's a new sense of study. You're the perpetual beginner when you're the fool, but when you're in that page of, or in the pages, this is where there's more of an enthusiasm to start out with a new project. So I feel like you have an idea that's going to send you forward here, and it seems like it's a longer haul sort of scenario, but there is some kind of message around money that you can expect, I would say, in the month of April. So definitely looking really good here, because, and it definitely feels like there is a new job that's up ahead, maybe even two of sorts for some of you. One is quite grounded, one is feels like more of an idea as well that would be coming through, that may be secondary as an adjunct to like extra cash or something, right? Entrepreneurial, that kind of thing. But either way, there's a message coming in for you. Once you make a decision, there's a message that you get a little bit of help, and then just toward the end of April, again, some of you might be just trailing slightly out past that, but then there'll be some kind of a message coming in around money. And again, you've really done a lot of growth in this period, not just in the month of April, but April seems to be very close to solidifying everything. So the Nine of Swords, like I said, in the beginning of the month tells me you are almost through all of it. Just hang tough, because you're almost through all of that heavy energy. So any problems or difficulties that you had, I feel, are going to start to fall away, because you have new energy that's coming in, and it's going to be by way of message in terms of money. There's an offering here that's coming through, even on an emotional level. And you also have something here that is a bright idea that is coming to you that will help you to really harness your goal energy. So, and I feel like that's where your focus is, strongly focusing on your blessings. You're starting to shift your focus. So I would definitely say here, like I said, there's something here that tells me there's a lot of prosperity that's going to be coming in here for you, and I feel like your focus, your attention is really on the right things. So I want to just go into there was these other, I'll go into the other cards here a little bit more too, but this was the cards that fell out at the end when I was asking for advice. And I guess maybe I should put it in the proper order that it fell. So normally when you see a tower, that can be a little bit alarming, but I just want you to know that's not what I see here. Okay, so what I saw was with that Six of Swords energy, usually that does represent going away from difficulties, all of that. So sixes are always about, facing some element of change. You're getting over, triumphing over challenge. And I feel like that's where you're at, because you did have a tower moment. You had a lot of really difficult things to go through there, that really shook your foundation. So, but you've overcome that with you've actually gained some kind of recognition for it. Like there's something here that tells me that you are, because this is a six, this is a six, this you've kind of, built in, um you've built in something that's allowed you to get closer to your goals. So in facing that challenge, in facing that, and sort of that warrior energy, you triumphed over it, and now it's creating some sense of harmony and balance for you because you faced it. And it feels like I said, with that Six of Wands energy, that's all about, getting a bit of notoriety for something that you've done. People are starting to look at you differently. So, and again, it's not in an unfavorable way, and certainly people's minds change all the time. So really, it's more about how we feel about ourselves anyway. So, I mean, what you reflect inside is what will be reflected outside. So if you don't feel confident, other people will pick up on that like like nothing. So you really have to be comfortable with who you are, and that's why it's so important to do that introspection and really deal with things. So but anyway, it's not to say you should never show vulnerability, but it definitely means, there's got to be a time and a place, and there certainly has to be the appropriate foundations around you to consult, you know. So I mean, if you are seeing a counselor or something like that, I mean, those are helpful for, you know, helping you to develop tools to get through things. And whereas if you're confiding in a friend, they may be supportive but more of a cathartic way, you know, like, yeah, that was wrong, yeah, that's horrible, but you still weren't able to process the feelings. And when you process it, that's when you actually get further ahead. um, just seeing all the world is wrong, and we all sort of feel victim to that at certain times, but you know, is a difficult energy because it doesn't allow you to move forward with great stride. It holds you back in some way because you're always expecting the worst. So anyway, with the Six of Wands energy, that's victory, where you've upgraded yourself in some way. You're moving forward here. You've risen to the challenge, like I said, and I definitely feel like you have more drive, more ambition, more openness. You've made some kind of a decision here, and I feel like you know what you're worth here. This is you standing up for yourself, like I say, in a way that, you know, you stood up for yourself in a way that helped you to find balance. And I feel like there's almost a certain element of, because of the six and the six, I feel like it was a certain element of grace and um, smoothness through that transition, whatever it was. But either way, I feel like you've raised your status in some way in the month of April. That's becoming more apparent. Um, like I said, you're going to be able to get what you want here. People are seeing more value in you. And I feel like you're also in better shape now as well, than you were previously. So, like I said, something's paid off here. And either way, there's a triumph of some sort because you have been able to overcome a huge cycle with that energy. So, also with that combination, the Tower and the Six of Swords, it's also some kind of radical change that you've gone through. And again, there's been a lot of growth and a lot of transformation in that energy. So, I definitely feel like you cannot be the same person you were before in that energy. That is something that's pretty significant. So, the other part of it is when we're talking about the Six of Swords, like I said, that is still that energy of leaving behind, like I said, difficult situations, moving toward the calm waters. So, whatever sudden change, you know, occurred there, I feel like it has transformed you in a significant way where you are empowered in a different way. I don't want to say empowered in the month of April because I feel most of the cards are you just opening up. But I feel like you feel a lot more hopeful after that bumpy ride, right? So it's kind of getting rid of that negative energy, and once you get rid of the negative, you know, or that darker energy, I hate to sort of attach a good or a bad thing to it, but once you sort of go through that energy and allow it to transform you, it's like you can no longer fit in that energy. And so you're now moving into energy that fits your purpose, that fits you going forward. So, and I feel like you won't go back to that energy because it doesn't fit anymore. It's like clothes that are too small. Um, but I feel like you're embracing the change here up ahead. And again, even on a practical way or in a practical sense, in terms of a relationship, I feel like it is something that's allowed you to make significant changes to that connection, whether that's walking away or whether or not you have just decided to move on into a different direction. But either way, some of the important points there is that it was a sudden change. You've made room for new growth, new energy, and it definitely is an opportunity because it's almost, I don't want to say spiritual awakening in the way that enlightenment can sometimes come through in a meditation. It was spiritual enlightenment that's made you more authentic, but it's because it was done in the hardest of ways. But even though it was still for your highest good. Yeah, sorry, I was just checking your comment there. Is it Johnny? Yeah. Oh, good to see you, Johnny. Sorry, I'm glad you guys are here. Like I said, I do this for you. So, but either way, like I said, this energy to me is just you're transitioning from one tumultuous phase of your life into a cycle of a lot more recognition, a lot more fulfillment. People, you kind of know who you are now to a certain extent. They can feel your energy, whether they know you or don't know you, but they can feel that energy. There's something about the way that you present that's changed. And again, you're more open to jobs and investment in yourself and financial security here as well. So there's definitely a prosperous career path up ahead, and it's going to be something that is more significant because it is big. long-term energy with, again, the clarifiers here. So the other part of it is too, is when you're in that Six of Swords energy, and again, this is probably, it's kind of something that is what sort of fell out after the month of April. So I don't know where that's going to sort of fall in the grand scheme of things. You're welcome, Johnny. But I don't know where that'll fall in the grand scheme of things, but it certainly does speak to, moving to a better place in a lot of ways here. There could very well be a move for some of you, but I don't necessarily see that specifically. I just feel that the energy is transitional. So I feel like, whatever the toxic energies were or anything that was holding you back before, that has changed. That you can't, you can only, it's, think of it as a jar filled with energy. If you've got too much sand or something, or too much air in a particular space, you can't try to force more in there if it's in a contained space. So think of it that way. When you allow for more in, you of more of the things that you want, then you get more of the things that you want. So it's something along that line. But you're changing up your environment and the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And I feel like this is going to allow you to even grow and evolve in a more significant way. But you're moving to a better place in terms of your space, your connections, all of that. And like I said, the Two of Swords still felt like you were making some kind of a decision in around your finances. And it looks like it's probably feeling like a difficult decision. But when you really look at the other cards surrounding it, I don't feel like that's really that difficult of a decision ahead here, because the prosperous path is pretty much a done deal. Who doesn't want that? The other, just to sort of bring everything else together here with that Wheel of Fortune, again, it's clarified with the Six of Pentacles. So that to me is all about destiny and generosity. And for sure, you're getting some kind of generosity, help with your destiny, help, from people that are family sources or connections along that line. It definitely feels like you're getting paid back in a very positive way with good fortune, because it's a very long cycle. When I see the Wheel of Fortune next to the World card, it's a very long period where things will be good. It's not to say there won't be downfalls or slide backs or things that you won't have to challenge, because you're always going to be challenged. But it's having the knowledge and remembering the knowledge, drawing on the knowledge that you've already learned to help you going forward, that helps you to prepare for each stage, each change. Because everything that it's almost like ride the cycle, right? Like ride the wave. For every high period, there will always be a lower period. That's not to say it's a bad period, but it's certainly going to be a period that's going to, all like areas of weakness around you, that will be the areas that the low periods will affect. That's where they will be impacted. So if you learn the tools and the skills now, it'll help you to thrive later. So the low periods won't be as low. They may dip, but they won't fall into significant loss if you learned the lessons that you were to learn. So, and you can implement them. So the other part of it is here too. When we are talking about the Ace of Wands again in that finality sort of the reading here, again, it's representing a new beginning. You're more open, more receptive toward the end of April for sure. It's almost like there's new courage, new inspiration, burst of energy that's really pushing things ahead. So really, really significant time for you to take advantage of that energy. Again, this is energy that's around you. If you do nothing with it and you just let it slide and you still sit on the couch, well, that's energy that you could have taken advantage of and really changed your world. But if you actually act on that energy, it'll expedite things, move things ahead faster, because it is energy that's surrounding you. And it's definitely completion and success cycles here. So I do really advise you to take advantage of this energy, because it's accomplishment and fulfillment over a long period of time. It is a very long journey here when I see, but it's good, positive energy around that long journey for you. It's not to say, again, no, no challenges, but those lessons have been integrated on some level when we get to the card of the self-actualization here with the World card. So again, you're ready to start some kind of a new journey on it based on a new idea. But there's three different things coming in here. But I feel like the start of that energy is here in the month of April. And again, you'll probably get the full fruition of it, further out as things play out. But you might not recognize the energy as an opportunity yet. And that's probably what's happening there. Um, Okay, so when we get to I guess the final cards out was just that 10 of Pentacles. And again, overall, I mean, we all know that the Ten of Pentacles is that card of ultimate success and getting the things that you want. And sometimes it's not just getting the things that you want, but also it's about appreciating the things that you have around you. So it's whatever wealth or establishment and inheritance could also be possible here as well. But whatever that means for you, there is some kind of sense of more carefreeness in the month of April. There's some kind of gain financially here as well. There's some sense of job security presenting itself here as well. And it feels like you feel like for you, you're making it in some way. So again, there's three different areas of your life that seem to be impacted. It feels like further out, there is some kind of emotional bond of some sort that could be starting here, but it feels like the energy around that is almost, I feel impassioned again, but yet my energy is more of the Ace of Pentacles, not one. Yeah, sure, I'll go for over coffee, but it's almost like I'm not, feeling runneth over with emotions. It's that kind of thing. And then we also have that energy of, again, there's something that you want here that is still posing a lot of conditional energy around it, where you're just not quite sure this is something you can handle at this time. But again, by the end of April, I feel like there's more energy of you opening up all around too, to the reconnection of of some friends or help or family, because that seems to be shared. It's a shared responsibility in your destiny, in your future, in some way there. So either way, I just feel like things are really looking, they're finding you. What you want is now finding you. So I would say, don't go back to the old energy. Try to stay in the space of allowing the new energy to envelop you, because this is where you are meant to be. Again, this is where you're meant to be. The Six of Wands. So keep moving forward, never give up. You are on the right track, and just keep doing what you're doing here, because something is really panning out for you, Cancer. And April seems to be a huge turning point for a lot. Again, three different areas that seem to be impacting on your life: emotionally, financially. You're opening up with new ideas, and there's more of a shared responsibility and connection in your future. So believe in yourself, because you are definitely getting people starting to believe in you.